Today, ang pag-uusapan natin ay conic sections, particularly ang parabola with vertex at the origin. Pero bago yon, ating i-define ang parabola. A parabola is a set of all points in the plane equidistant from a given point, called the focus, and a given line called the directrix. Now, sa tulong ng picture na nasa right side, we can derive the equation of the parabola. We assume the origin 0, 0 of the coordinate system is at the parabola's vertex. For any point x, y sa parabola, yung dalawang blue lines na nakalabel na D ay magkasing haba. Ito ay dahil sa definition ng parabola. Para makuha natin ang equation nila, iset equal natin sila sa isa't isa at isimplify upang mahanap ang equation ng parabola. The top line D ay ang hypotenuse ng maliit na right triangle. Ang horizontal side of the triangle ay may habang x at ang vertical side naman ay may habang quantity y minus a. Proof of the equation of a parabola. Mula sa Pythagorean theorem, masasabi natin na si D ay equal to the square root of x squared plus quantity y minus a squared. Ayon naman sa definition ng relationship ng focus sa directrix, we know that ang distansya ng vertex ay halfway between the focus and the directrix. Kaya ang D ay equal to y plus a. Ngayong nahanap na natin ang value na D at alam natin na equal sila, we can set the equations equal to each other. Ang goal natin ay mailagay si y sa left side kaya una nating square ang both sides of the equation para mawala ang radical. Ikalawa, i-expand ang squared expressions on the left. Ikatlo, i-expand natin muli ang squared expression on the right side. Ang y squared at a squared on each side cancels. Ngayon, mag-add tayo ng 2ay bawat side. By reflexive property, we leave x squared sa left. Now we have proved the equation of the parabola that opens upward with vertex at the origin. Para sa lahat ng uri ng parabola, ito ang ating mga dapat tandaan kapag nag-i-sketch ng graph. Una, a ay ang distance mula focus patungo sa vertex. Ikalawa, 2a naman ang distansya ng focus papunta sa isang endpoint ng latus rectum. Ikatlo, 4a ang kabuang haba ng latus rectum which is also known as the focal chord. Ikaapat, ang negative ni a ay ang distance mula sa vertex to the directrix. Ito naman ang simplified parts ng bawat type ng parabola with vertex at the origin. Gamit ang table na ito, mapadadali ang ating pag-sketch ng equation ng parabola. Para sa parabola that opens upward, ang focus ay located sa point na 0, a. Ang endpoints ng latus rectum nito ay nasa negative 2a, a at 2a, a. Ang equation ng parabola that opens upward is given by x squared equals 4a. Para sa parabola that opens downward, ang focus ay located sa point na 0, negative a. Ang endpoints ng latus rectum nito ay nasa negative 2a, negative a at 2a, negative a. Ang equation ng parabola that opens downward is given by x squared equals negative 4ay. Para sa parabola that opens to the right, ang focus ay located sa point na a, 0. Ang endpoints ng latus rectum nito ay nasa a, 2a at a, negative 2a. Ang equation ng parabola that opens to the left is given by y squared equals 4ax. Para sa parabola that opens to the left, ang focus ay located sa point na negative a, 0 at ang endpoint sa latus rectum nito ay nasa negative a, 2a at negative a, negative 2a. Ang equation ng parabola that opens to the left is given by y squared equals negative 4ax. Let's start now na mag-graph ng parabola. Ating i-graph ang equation na x squared equals 8y. Isulat natin sa side yung equation. Ang una nating gawin ay mag-factor out ng 4 mula sa coefficient ni y. Now, makikita natin na may natirang coefficient which is 2. Ito ang value ni A. According to the remarks, A ang distance mula sa vertex to the focus. Thus, the focus is at 0, 2. Plot this after plotting the vertex V at 0, 0. Kasama ng mga points na nakuha natin, i-plot natin ang endpoints ng latus rectum na lilabelan natin Q1 at Q2. Ang coordinates ni Q1 ay negative 4, 2 at ang coordinates ni Q2 ay 4, 2. Kanina, sinabi natin na ang negative ni A ay ang distance mula sa vertex papunta sa directrix. Kaya ang equation ng directrix ay y equals negative 2. For the second example, let's graph y squared equals negative 4x. Ating isulat sa side yung equation. Again, mag-factor tayo ulit ng 4, pero ngayon negative naman. Laging tandaan that A is still positive, so we only get the negative distance for the focus, since this will be a parabola that opens to the left. The focus is at negative 1, 0. Plot this kasama ng vertex at 0, 0 at huwag kalimutan lagyan ng labels. We say that 2a is the distance from the focus to the endpoint of the latus rectum. If a is 1, masasabi natin na isa sa mga endpoints ng focal chord ay 2 units away from the focus. Ang Q1 ay nasa negative 1, 2 at ang Q2 ay nasa negative 1, negative 2. Mas sinabi rin natin kanina, the negative of A is the distance from the vertex to the directrix. Kaya ang directrix ay nasa x equals 1. Ngayon sa third example natin, by looking at the question, we should be able to know kung nasaan naka-open ang parabola. Again, after we write the equation, we factor out a negative 4, since this is a parabola that opens downward. Be careful to forget that A is positive. And the coordinates of the focus is 0, negative 4. Plot this after plotting the vertex and remember to place the labels of the parts of the parabola. We will now plot Q1 at negative 8, negative 4 and Q2 at 8, negative 4, which are the endpoints of the focal chord. We will now trace the equation of the directrix, which is the line y equals 4. In this last example, we can now easily say that A is equals to 3. We also say the focus is 3 units away from the vertex. The latus rectum is 6 units long and its endpoint Q1 is located at the point 3, 6 and Q2 is located at the point 3, negative 6. The equation of the directrix of this parabola is the line x equals negative 3. Ngayon, magsagot tayo ng word problem involving parabolas with vertex at the origin. The problem goes like this. A solar collector for heating water is constructed with a sheet of metal that is shaped into a parabola. The water will flow through a pipe that is located at the focus of the parabola. At what distance from the vertex is the pipe? It has a diameter of 6 meters and a depth of 1 meter. Now, alam natin na nakatapat ito pataas since isa siyang tool that requires the heat coming from the sun. From this, we can say that this parabola opens upward. We will be using the equation of a parabola that opens upward to solve this problem. By creating a simple sketch, we know that the diameter is 6 meters and the depth is 1 meter. We know that a parabola is symmetric, so we will get half the size of the diameter and use it as our x, and the depth as y. By plugging it in the equation for a parabola that opens upward, we get 3 squared equals 4a. Let's flip the equation so that a will be on the left side, and let's get 3 squared, which is 9. By dividing both sides by 4, we get a equals 2.25. Therefore, the distance of the pipe from the vertex is 2.25 meters. Next time on STEM Supreme, pag-uusapan natin ang talangguhit ng parabola with vertex at h, k. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to STEM Supreme. Ang pang-agham na salin sa Pilipino na tampok natin ngayon ay talangguhit, na ang salin sa Ingles ay graph.